disclaimer. I am not an immigration attorney. I am not a lawyer. Any of the advice that you get from me today is my own personal experience, and your results will vary. Any of the information I cite today is either from the U.S. government, the Philippines government, or from the company itself. I don't draw any of my information from other people on Twitter or from Facebook groups. I highly advise, if you're in a Facebook group or in one of those Twitter groups, that you do your own research. You contact the Department of Foreign Affairs, you contact the Bureau of Immigration, or you contact the USCIS for further information. So obviously here first we have the actual website for WebWed. That is the company that I use. When I did my research starting last June, I researched tons and tons of companies. Most all these companies I had found had turned out to be scams or were proxy marriages. We're not going into proxy marriages today. That's a whole nother ball game. What WebWed offers is a traditional marriage performed remotely. It is not a proxy marriage, and yes, it is legal under the state laws that they provide their services in. So as you can see on their main platform, wherever, whenever, together, when love can't wait, you're going to go your frequently asked questions. Do some research on it. Find out the pricing of the packages. I availed the $899 international package. It was worth every single dime. To have that reassurance that this is done legally, and it's done by someone who's been doing this since 2015. No, they are not endorsing this. I'm letting you guys know that I use WebWed because there's a lot of companies out there that may offer a cheaper price or a different alternative. There's a reason they're offering that price, to be honest with you. I'm not going to go straight through the state of Utah. I'm not going to go through these other companies that copied their platform, that actually use their service. I'm going to stick with WebWed. They've helped hundreds of other couples, thousands of other couples, so why not go with the people that have done this successfully? So you see $8.99, you got the $5.99, $3.99. So if you are in the United States and you're marrying a Filipina, you must use it $8.99 or the international package, because one person has a foreign ID. If both couples are in the United States and they both have a US ID, you can use a $5.99, or if you have your marriage license, $3.99. We're not going to go over a lot of the pricing. I'm just kind of showing you guys around their website. You can see all the services they offer for the courts, the electronic signatures, which is a big thing, and they offer everything 100% online. And they help you obtain the marriage license. That's a pretty big thing. The how it works and the frequently asked questions, they've got a lot of videos on their YouTube page on how it works. You know, and the biggest thing that everyone wants to know, can I use my license for immigration purposes? They say yes, but we 100% do not get involved with immigration, citizenship, or travel ban matters. We do not engage in unauthorized practice of law, nor give legal advice. So don't ever ask them if you can use your marriage certificate for this, that, visa. They won't get involved. There's legal laws behind that. So, but here's all the questions that you guys could ever have about the online marriage. Now, the biggest question everyone has, will my marriage license say online? It will not say online marriage. So I'm going to let everyone know, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit and let everyone know there was a big fuss on Twitter and on Facebook groups because the marriage license didn't say online. Well, you know what? They spoke too soon, because what they didn't realize is when you file your report of marriage, you're also required to submit an affidavit stating that you married online. And we're going to provide some of that documentation and that screenshot from the San Francisco consulate about submitting the affidavit that you were married online. They want to know this information. Don't hide it from them. They obviously have processed enough visas and marriage certificates as they recognize the state of Utah or the state of Florida or state of Colorado, they recognize these marriages. So don't commit fraud, don't lie, just let them know that yes, you were married online. Where can I get married? You can get married anywhere as long as you've got a valid internet connection. So, but for all your frequently asked questions, please go to their frequently asked questions page. I know I'm sure they get bombarded daily with these questions, but it's right there. It's all public information. The ceremony previews, the pricing. So now that you've made a decision that yes, you want to go ahead and go through with getting married online, you can download their mobile app, WebWed Mobile, on the Play Store or the App Store, Apple Store. I'm not sure what it's called, the Orange Store, Pear Store. I don't use Apple, I use Samsung. But you can download their app, or you can sign in and join on their main page. And in order to do so, you're going to log in, you're going to create an event. Now this is an area that causes a lot of confusion for everyone. Now when you go to enter your information in, if it's incorrect, like your date, let's say February 9th of 2021, that date they don't confirm until you actually pay and you receive your marriage license. If they confirm that date for everyone that went onto the app and made an event, they'd be completely filled out with appointments and wouldn't have any room for anyone. So this is just pre-registration. This just kind of gives them an idea of how many people may be trying to perform a ceremony. Now, if your information is incorrect, like your first name or your address, they have special instructions on completing this actual pre-registration. It's mainly, like I say, pre-registration. If your name's incorrect, your address is incorrect, your date's off, don't worry. That's not the important part. You're going to go in here, you're going to choose your packages. Obviously, I don't need the wedding officiant. I myself chose the international package. I chose the Apostille. We're going to get into that here after a moment. And then I did the $1 live stream. The total is $1,425. And then the state of Utah that I married through wanted their fee. They charged me an extra $70 processing fee to file the records, to do their thing, to marry me their copy. So that was a fee that they couldn't, WebWed themselves could not charge me. The state had to charge me that for the marriage license as well. So once I get all this done and I submit my payment, I received an email with additional instructions. So as you can see, the email that I had received with additional instructions just kind of goes over some of the information that you'll need. As far as once you click on this link, you're going to be taken to the actual utahcounty.gov website. That's where we went through, is the state of Utah. And that's when your information needs to be 100% valid and legit. Please, please, please take time to read everything that they send you, even the state of Utah, everything they send you. If you go through the state of Utah, WebWed utilizes 8 different states to issue marriage licenses. So it may not be Utah for you. It could be Florida, Georgia, Washington, D.C., Colorado, just to name a few states that they actually utilize to issue marriage licenses. So this is some of the information here. The next email that you're viewing right here is the instructions for the online marriage for the applicants. Obviously, you've got 30 days to use that license once the state issues it to you. Now, some of the requirements that we needed, we both needed a valid ID over the age of 18. We weren't forced against our will to get married. And obviously, I know I have to bring this up to some of you guys. You cannot marry if you're already married or still married, you're not divorced, or you haven't gotten an annulment. You cannot marry. I don't know why this question gets brought up so much. Can I marry if I'm not divorced yet? I mean, to me, it's kind of common sense. So please, you got to be single. You've got to be ready to marry. Okay, so once I was married, they sent me a digital marriage certificate immediately, right after the ceremony. They sent me a hard copy. It was 5 days later when I got the hard copy. Now, you guys, right now with COVID going on, you're going to have to expect some delays in processing, limited staff. I know the websites all say 3 to 5 days, 5 days for the apostille, but you have to give it some time. You can't expect it to be done immediately like that. COVID delays everything. Once it's out of their hands, there could be so many delays, weather delays, shipping delays. So you can't blame the state of Utah, you can't blame WebWed because you didn't get your documents within 5 days, 10 days. You know, honestly, my apostille took 14 days. There were delays. I mean, honestly, you're going to have delays. Nothing's perfect in this world. If it was, we wouldn't have wars. We'd all be rich. We'd all be drinking Mai Tais on the beach. My marriage certificate that I got was a digital certificate. It's all legal. I'm not going to show too much on there. You can use this right away for Social Security Administration, for the DMV. You can provide them an Ethereum ID number, or you can provide them that digital copy. But you will be mailed a hard copy. What is the apostille? Why do I need the apostille? For layman's terms, the apostille is like the ultimate world notary. Let's just say that. What it does is it certifies that that document is legit. It's not fraudulent. And any of the countries that participate in the Hague Apostille Convention will deem that as a valid document. It could be a marriage certificate, it could be a death certificate, it could be divorce decree. If the document's been apostilled, these are some of the countries that participate in the Apostille Convention. The Philippines is one of them. They're just not updated on this list. The Philippines joined the Hague Apostille Convention in May of 2019. So when you're applying for your visa, you do need to acquire the apostille. Can I use the online marriage to bring my Filipina to the United States? The short answer for that is, if you haven't met, no, you cannot. You're going to go to the USCIS and you're going to go into the Immigration Naturalization Authority page. They're going to cover some of this. The biggest issue we're going to go over is number 35. The term spouse, wife, or husband do not include a spouse, wife, or husband by reason of any marriage ceremony where the contracting parties thereto are not physically present in the presence of each other unless the marriage shall have been consummated. For some of you that don't know what consummated is, it's pretty much doing a hanky-panky after you are married. Now, that's kind of letting everyone know that, okay, the USCIS does not recognize online marriages for visa purposes. Has anyone done the spousal visa for the online marriage? I can't answer that. I don't know of anyone yet. Now, I'm sure there are ways to go around it. If you were to use your Philippines PSA marriage certificate, which we'll get into, I'm sure there's a way to do that. But for visa purposes, for bringing your spouse to the U.S., you're probably going to want to hire an immigration attorney, which I am not, so as I mentioned. But I wanted to bring up that section 35, the term spouse. Even if you've got a marriage contract or you've been through a marriage ceremony, if you haven't seen her in a year and a half, they're not going to consider it. You're going to have a really hard case arguing that. I mean, you're not going to be able to show them that you consummated the marriage. You're going to show them one of your sex tapes. I don't think you are. I don't know if you have them, but I don't think you are going to show them that you consummated the marriage. So I just wanted to bring that up. Okay, so the next big question we're going to get into is the legality for the Philippines on the online marriage. I know a lot of people have thrown an article submitted by the Manila Times back in May of 2020 at me, stating that online marriage is not legal in the Philippines. That information is correct, but that's for Filipinos being married online in the Philippines itself, like two Filipinos getting married online. There was a whole to-do about it, but we're going to discuss Executive Order number 209, otherwise known as the Family Code of the Philippines, and we're going to focus on Article 26 of the Philippines Family Code, where it states all marriage is solemnized outside the Philippines in accordance with the laws in force in the country where they are solemnized, and valid there as such, shall also be valid in the country, except for those prohibited under Articles 35, 1, 4, 5, 6, 36, 37, 38. Those really are just kind of pertaining to brother, mother, sister, cousin, all that. The online marriage is performed under state law. And under the federal law of the United States, it dictates all individual states are responsible for their marriages. They dictate what's legal and what's not legal per state. I got married in the state of Utah. It's legal in Utah. So therefore, it's recognized in all 50 states in the United States. Also, then it's recognized in the Philippines. So, legality behind it, Article 26 of the Philippines Family Code. You're not going through a loophole. You're not cheating the law. This is a law that was established in the United States, and no one country can dictate what another country does with its laws. So until this is amended, this is what we're going by. Another section of the Philippines Family Code I found very interesting was Article 34, the common law marriage. So if you get a chance, check that out. I'm not going to go over that too much, but basically if you've been living with her for 5 years, you're common law married, and you can go that route as well. So definitely check out the Philippines Family Code. Give it a good read. Like I've said before, you should be doing your own research, your own due diligence. I'm giving you the links. I'm giving you the reading material. Please take time to read it. In order for the marriage to be accepted in the Philippines, you need to report the marriage. They're not going to know you guys got married unless you report it, just like a report of divorce. Divorce abroad is also legal, but that's another thing for another day. So to report marriage, I found that the best place to go for all the forms and most organized of all their websites was the Philippines Consulate General in San Francisco. Because for me, because the state of Utah fell under the jurisdiction of San Francisco, I went here for my forms. The forms that you're going to need is a visa form and a report of marriage form on the bottom right. So click that link, and then it's going to bring you to how to file a report of marriage, judicial recognition of foreign divorce, download the report of marriage form. Now we're going to get into how do you file the report of marriage if both of you aren't in the same location at the same time? Well, that's a very good question. So the San Francisco Consulate has additional information for filing the report of marriage. To file that report of marriage when you both are in different countries, they gave you a pretty simple explanation right here. It says, please send your completed application by mail, because they're all closed. They're not taking any walk-in appointments or any appointments to go in there to submit your application. I'm going to mention a visa application, and everything else is done by mail only. United States Postal Service or UPS, not FedEx. They make that clear in the visa application. Do not use FedEx. I don't know why that is. Please send your completed application by mail for the report of marriage form. Both husband and wife must sign the form. If the wife is in the Philippines, please accomplish this form, send it and sign it in front of a notary. Send the original form to your husband. Have her send it to you. So you both will need to sign and notarize this. You will need the original. Then when I was discussing earlier about the online marriage and everyone's complaining, it doesn't say online. No, it doesn't. It's a traditional marriage certificate. But they do require that you execute an affidavit stating the fact about your online marriage. And please make mention your wife does not have a U.S. visa. Now, if you're living in the UK, you're going to mention your wife doesn't have a visa for the UK, a Schengen visa, or however you say that. If you're living in another country, just make mention she doesn't have a visa for that said country. So, and if so, please send a copy of it. So, yes, you are required to acknowledge that you were married online. With my affidavit, I simply put, I got married to Jane Doe on said date. We married through WebWed, through the state laws of Utah, online, on this day, She does not have a visa for the United States. 222, simple form, and I signed that in front of a notary. It was just a typewritten form, nice and neat. I sent that in with my report of marriage. So you've got your report of marriage completed. You've got it mailed in. You must receive a response from San Francisco or the jurisdiction or of the consulate that you sent it to that they've received a report of marriage. Things change daily. They may change this ruling tomorrow. They could have changed it while I'm making this video. You're going to contact the DFA, the consulate, the embassy nearest you, ask for any new updates or rules regarding this. Now I know for me, once I received the email from San Francisco that they received my report of marriage, I sent that in with my visa application. You must report your marriage and receive confirmation before you can file for your visa. As you can see, I found all the visa documents and the requirements on the San Francisco website because, like I said, they're very well organized. They give you step-by-step instructions how to apply for a visa. Download the non-immigrant visa application form. That's all you really need right there. Now, and then other visa information, you're going to want to read through that a little bit. I'm not going to tell you the requirements that you can read and do right there on your own, but I will tell you that it's a 9A non-immigrant visa. When they issue it to you, it's valid for 3 months. So you've got 3 months from the date that it was issued. So if it was issued February 14th, 3 months from that date to use that visa or lose it. Once you use the visa, it is valid for 59 days once you enter the country on that. And it will say spousal visa, exempt per IATF resolution, so on and so forth. So it's technically a spousal visa. I know some of you are going to say, no, a spousal visa is a 13A visa. Yes, a 13A visa is a residency visa you can get if you're married and as a spouse, but they classify it as a spouse visa when you apply. So those are some of the places that you can find the information. Like I said, all the links, all the information you need will be in the description. I'll give you guys everything to help you out. Now I want to talk about a few extra things. A lot of people have become disgruntled. They say, okay, well, I haven't met my Filipina before. Can I get married? Under U.S. law, yes, you can get married, but do we recommend it? We don't. You got to live with someone before you get married as far as I'm concerned. Can I get a visa after we get married if we haven't met? I do know there were some cases, but they have just started asking for additional requirements for proof of relationship. So if you haven't met your spouse already, you're going to be asked for proof of relationship. So I'm assuming that's meeting in person. Now, I know we want this pandemic to end. We want all couples to be reunited. We're not making these rules up. We're just giving you advice. We're giving you a heads up. The Philippines DFA and everyone states that they take this on a case-by-case basis. So if you want to take that chance, you want to get married, you want to get a visa, and you haven't met your fiance or your significant other yet, that's your own chance. I'm not telling you no. I'm not stopping you. I'm just heeding a warning to you. You may waste a lot of money, time, just to be told no. So, but by all means, if you feel like you have no choice, you need her that bad, contact the consulate, ask them, give them your scenario, your situation. They may be able to help you with it. Like I said, I know there have been cases where some gentlemen have not met their spouse and they were issued visas, but it's a case-by-case basis. Overall, the visa process, the report of marriage, the WebWed, the amount of time that it took, for me, it was 50 days from start to finish, from when I got married to getting my visa. That's going to be different from everyone. The quickest I've heard, to believe it or not, was from getting married to getting her visa was literally 14 days. That's the quickest. The longest I've heard was 3 months. So the time frame is pretty wide for when you're going to get your visa. If you've got all your documents or your ducks in a row, so to speak, You can submit all your documents on a timely basis. You don't make any mistakes. None of the rules have changed, or regulations or laws have changed, and there's no current lockdown restrictions or variants that are causing lockdowns. You could get it pretty quickly. Some of you will get on Facebook groups, you'll ask questions, is this legal, is that legal? You know, you can ask people questions that have never done the process, that haven't been there, and they're going to give you all the information they can because they're Facebook experts, or they've been YouTube certified, or they're Wiki certified with YouTube endorsements. That's all fine and dandy. I'm giving you advice of my own personal experience, what I went through, the information that I had to research and find in order to do this. So, by all means, please do your due diligence and do your research. I also recommend that you be careful of the websites that you use to get married online. Like I stated, I went with WebWed because they were the trusted one. They had been on Shark Tank on TV. They've been doing this since 2015. I'm going to root for them every single day because they did this correctly for me. When I needed her, she came through with extra documents for me after she married me. She didn't just marry me and say goodbye. She was there for the after support, the extra documents that were above and beyond what I had paid for, and that's why I used them. Now, there are some other companies out there that I would be very, very wary of that copied her system, and they are charging a much cheaper price. Would I recommend them? There's a reason they're cheaper, you guys. So, who are you going to trust in this? Someone who's been doing it since 2015, or a copycat company that doesn't know what they're doing? So I hope you guys found some of my advice and some of my direction a little bit helpful to you guys today. You're more than welcome to leave a comment down below, and I'll try to guide you as much as I can. Obviously, I'm limited to what I can and can't say. Like I stated, I can't give legal advice. I can't tell you yes or no, you can or can't get married. What I'm doing today is providing you the resources that you need, my personal experience. But if you guys decide that you have no other place to turn, this is for you. I hope that you can give this video a like, leave a comment, let me know if it worked for you. You guys, I want to make mention at no point in time do we ever ask for payment of services, for any money for doing any of this. We expect nothing in return but a thank you and a photo of when you guys are reunited.